Okay, so everybody knows that I've started this gardening thing, right? Anybody who's watching my videos, I'm super, super excited because I got my first delivery of seeds. I kind of was like, God, I was holding off until later until I got more, but this is what I have so far. It's from Burpee. Ooh, I'm so excited. I don't want to cut through the bag. Hold on.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you like this video of my mom doing the seeds.
Oh, what do we got? Yes, Nasturtium. This is Alaska. This is the one. Yeah. This is the one that I heard was very good, and that I should never underestimate this in my garden. So I'm going to grow this in a nice container, have all these beautiful flowers, and it'll help the pollinators first and foremost, so that my garden can grow and blossom. 50 seeds. I'm so excited. Oh, hello. So unfortunately, my battery is running super, super low. So I'm hoping that this doesn't cut out on me mid-video. I'm gonna go get my charger, but I have some work to do today. It's been almost 2 weeks. Me and my son were not feeling well. I'm still with the trail of it, but I do believe it might be mixed with a little allergy. So they kind of like, you know, it gets on my nerves when I get sick and then I get sick again. I don't like it, but it happens. But I am going to be putting compost, right? So the last 2 weeks almost, the food has been gathering in the kitchen and everything like that, and everybody's like, oh, it smells. And I did shrimp the other day, and so the shells on that is going to go into the garden because I hear that anything fish product helps with the tomatoes. So that's what we're doing it for. And then I have everything else that I have to put into the compost, which is like just into the soil. I have some more um, paper rings from the from the toilet paper rolls, and I was looking in my little section where I have like the majority of the compost, right? The majority of the food scraps, and it was really, really mushy and wet, and I thought it got maybe a little too wet, so I covered with cardboard, and then just cut off, sadly. But anyway, so I looked in that little section where the majority of the food scraps were, and it was completely moist. So then I thought it was too moist, so I put a piece of cardboard over top. And then like 2 or 3 days ago, it was super, super windy. The cardboard flipped off, and I'm like not feeling good enough to get up and, you know, pick up the cardboard, put it over top of the dirt again, put a stone, nothing like that. So unfortunately, the soil just got soaking wet. It's still wet, like right now, after like a day and a half. So now I'm dealing with like, hopefully the ground's not frozen because it's nice and sunny outside today. And I'm gonna check that soil to see if there's any red wigglers, to check to see if I have any more of those scraps that have come down. I'm not gonna put any more on there because it was so much to begin with. I'm just gonna cut up some more cardboard and just stick some in there just to, even the balance of the moisture. But of course, again, it is in the ground, so it's just a wooden, like, little basket, right? And I put some red wigglers that I found along the garden inside as I was tilling the soil, and I put the scraps in there. So now the basket's about this big. I put scraps all the way down here. I put a little bit of newspaper scraps and pieces in there, and some leaves and things like that. I put that in there. But of course, it gets moist because it's in the ground. And I thought, man, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more paper rolls. So I started cutting some paper rolls and putting it in there for bedding, right? Vermiculture is not. I'm not in. It's not that I'm not into it, but I wouldn't be able to do it with a barrel or container. My grandmother does not agree with it. My mother does not agree with it. They just don't want worms. Like, I guess it's something. We're not gonna do vermiculture inside the house. Oh my goodness, y'all! In order to have that set up, this is difficult because I had to get my charger, I had to get the cord, I had to get the extension cord. There's a whole lot of looping around behind you in order for me to even just have the thing on. So bear with me if it dies a couple times. Just it's not my fault. Okay, so we're gonna do it like this today. I know there's probably gonna be just like a little bit of adjusting. Now, for compost, normally I have, and this, by the way, this really isn't a project, but I cut the other part of this plant off and the other side's thriving. I'm just gonna put this in some dirt to see if it just comes back to life. If not, it's okay, because I still have this plant inside the house in my mom's room. Um, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try. I usually have this compost out, but this is 2 weeks worth, and there's even actually a container out there now that I have to put in the ground. I'm not going to take the phone out there only because everything is dirt and everything. It's wet, and for some reason, you know, it rained 2 days ago. But I also have these coffee grinds, and I just realized, I said, you know, these have a hole at the bottom, and I can just pop another hole in them, because inside it had, if you guys have these pods, they have the little filter, which is something we can also put in compost, right? So you put the soil in the compost, and the filter, but the little cups themselves, I've been throwing them away because, you know, they're recyclable because they're plastic. And I just realized, you know, I can just put small plants that are really tiny, or even seeds, in these individual ones, and look at, because we didn't have a lot of the little seedlings, the little seed planters. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to put this in the compost heap, and then I'm going to individualize this. And this is also another thing. I started having a glass container, right, and I would take the eggs and I would wash them. I started washing them, and then I started grinding them with the mortar and pestle and putting them in here. So I was actually making myself some grit for them, for the worms. So I mean, everything that I can do to improve that soil for next year, I'm doing it. I am trying it. I appreciate every suggestion from everyone, from that Jersey guy, I can't even remember, nobody, from Epic Gardening, everybody that I've ever watched. You know, I look up to you guys because you guys have been doing it for so many years, and this is my second year just trying to do it. So I'm hoping I'm doing it something right, you know, and I'm gonna try to see if I can keep up with the garden, because in all honesty, last year when the plants were starting to grow, I started taking some pictures. I put it on my Facebook page, but then when the pumpkin took over everything, then I was like, I am not gonna take a picture of this. I didn't want it. My aunt ended up cutting it down. The zucchini died off, so we were really only left with tomatoes and peppers. And that's just, you know, that's just typical. That's just what everybody does. And I really wanted it to be something fun and exciting. So this year, right, I got the Nasturtium, which I'm going to put in soil also, by the way. And good news is my mom found some more seedling containers, so we're going to be doing that. And if I can do it today, that's great, because I love putting those seeds in, and I'm super, super excited, and I'm going to show you why, because as soon as I can get this charged, I might take you guys outside to see, because I'm hardening right now my little zucchini plants, because I had 3 zucchini plants coming in, and one's like already got 2 true leaves. I'm so happy, because like I said, like last year I had 3 that came in. I put them in the ground super early, I guess that's what it was, because when one died off, and then I only had 2 plants, and then the other one died off, and I was like, something's going on, you know, and I tried to cover them up with like plastic, but it just wasn't enough. So what I'm going to do is now, from the seedlings, I'm just going to maneuver them out with my beautiful set that I have here. Okay, my small little gardening set from Dollar Tree. They're just small enough that they can go in like the little seedling containers, which is super, super neat. And then I'm gonna put them in bigger containers. Now, as for the bigger containers, I have to look around a little bit. We moved everything over, and the reason why is because we have people coming into the house to take care of some plumbing things, so they're gonna bring in some equipment and some supplies. So we got, right now, in comparison to the room that we had before, we have a lot more room. However, I'm gonna be using the space right here and also over there like usual, and I'm gonna get those seedlings in, and hope I can process them here. And then also the other seedling containers I have inside the house on one windowsill. And so the zucchini plants were on my windowsill, the other ones are on the third floor windowsill. My mom didn't want any in hers this year, so I just have the plants that are in water in her windowsill. They're doing good. The fern's doing fine. We're going to be transferring them, and I got to show you those containers too. My mom got these big old giant containers, so we're going to get some more soil. We're going to fill those in. We're going to put one of the ferns in one of there, and then the big plant that we have has got the big giant face. I can't remember what it's called. My grandmother had it. It was a gift, and it split. So when it split, I said, okay, I'm going to divide this. So I took this part, and I put this one in a container, and then I put this one in a container. Now she kept this one because it was smaller, right? Then this one split. So now we have 3 plants, 2 in one container and 1 in the other. The one that had the 2 got too big for her, so that went upstairs. And then the smaller one, where is the smaller one? Oh, the smaller one is in my mom's room. So that one is big, the bigger leaves, and it's on a dresser, and it's up here. And then the 2 smaller ones, which make this big giant plant like this big, is in the bathroom with all the nice moisture from, the shower. It hits a tropical plant, right? So it likes humidity. And she doesn't want it in the ground, so that's absolutely fine. So we're gonna just get more soil, and we're gonna put it in a container, that bigger container, and then those containers that they have, one of them I'm gonna use for my zucchini plant, for one of them. The other 2 I'm gonna put in the ground. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna hope, that it grows in both cases. But then also, the other small container. Hold on. Oh, here we go. We got guests here. Hold on. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna put you on pause, y'all. It's not going anywhere. I need you to cut these for me. Come on. Come on.
No.
It's a lot of work, baby.
No.
I need your help. No, I'm not gonna let you just play with it. I'm not gonna let you just play with it. No. Josh, I need your help with this. You can always rip these. Look. Just do this. You're angry. Come on. I need your help, please. Here. Don't make me do this, huh? The dirt was a little too moist out there, of course, because of the rain. Remember, the soil is super thick, I guess, clay-like. So this just showed it proof that I need a little bit more aeration in the soil. So and I have some new red wigglers that came up in the little section where it has all the food waste. I'll show you guys. I'm gonna be putting this back in there just to balance the moisture level in there. And I'm sure you guys probably know. And my boy. You want to crush the eggs? Huh? Yes. You want gloves? You want gloves? Here, they're all washed. Look, when you crush them, they're all washed and dry. Crush them. You want some gloves? I'm gonna have the phone right here. Okay, do you want gloves on your hands? Yes or no? Huh? Okay, but you don't want it flat. No, you don't want that on the floor. Just crush them in here. I'm gonna give you some gloves. here. And then, your hand goes. Because otherwise you're gonna hurt your fingers. Your hands go 5. Right? 5. There we go. Crush these eggs like this. Look. Make them real thin. Real thin. Even these little chunks are gonna be too big. Okay, crush this. In here. Put some of these in here too. Because those are a little bit too thick. Okay, crush it, crush it, crush it. No, stop. Just crush the eggs, please. Try not to. Right in my nose. Too big. You want to pull it back? You want to pull it back? Honey. Okay, pick that up, please. It will play on its own, okay? Please. Josh. Yes, it does. See? I even press the button. A little bit of eggshells, grounds, and can't even tell. Paper. Just trying to break these up. I'm actually going to end up doing something also. There was a project that a guy did, and he showed us how to do it. It's pretty neat. So he did 4 slits, right? Or 3. No, it was 4. It was 4. Because what he did was he bent it in. And he made like a little, just a little, see how it's like a little container? And then put the dirt in here. And then this can go into the ground with the plant itself. And this will eventually, I mean, when you put it in the ground, you know, eventually I'll end up cutting this part of it without hurting the roots. And then this will open up, the roots will just grow, and it'll just be in its own little container, you know. Actually, you could buy them from the store, or you can get your paper towel rolls. So I'm going to be doing that, and then I'm going to use these as holders, or those clear cups like before. So I'm going to do that. And I'm right now I've got so many different little projects in my head, but this was, I'm trying to get the grounds out of here done a little bit, but Joshua doesn't want to help anymore other than with the crushing the eggs, the eggshells. So we're just doing it little by little. This is a project that a whole family can do. Actually, it's a whole afternoon project. I'm gonna do these actually like that. I like the white ones only because the contrast. I guess it's me, and my mom likes red containers, and I like really light containers. I like the contrast of the dirt in here having the seed and then the green. So, you know, that's just me. And then I was thinking also, if I run out of containers, just putting them in here, and this is big enough to house maybe about 5 or 6 of them until. Yay.
Like and subscribe, thank you.
Yeah, but definitely not.
He says like and subscribe, thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna say that.
Thank you. And we have a lot. Oh, here we go. I actually do have a lot today. It's so strange because normally I don't have a lot. But I guess like I said, the last 2 weeks. So I've just been putting them in here. And it's so strange. There's enough. There's enough for the container. That's great. That's super. That's super. I didn't even know I had enough. So that's awesome. Okay. So the brown ones are going to go just directly into the ground. I think I'm going to cut them up in small little pieces, and I'm going to do these with that little slice. So I'm going to try all different kinds of ways to get my seeds to grow. I mean, look, remember, the ones I put them outside to get a little bit of winter breeze. There's a little bit of hardening off. I put the zucchinis out there. I'm going to bring them back in tonight because it still is cold. But they're in the sun and they're getting a little bit of that breeze because I want them to strengthen up. But remember, that was in last year's soil with a little bit of hay. Okay? So that was the least likely to work situation, but it worked and they're growing. And yep, look at that. It fits 6 comfortably, 7 really snugly. So yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I might trim them just a little bit before I put them in here because it looks like, but once I trim it at the bottom, it'll go lower. We'll see. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to put this in there, but either way, woo, I am so excited actually because I have several of these strawberry box containers in the house. Oh, and I have another one here, but this wasn't exactly. This was for pastries, I think. Yeah, tea biscuits. So this might work. Once it's folded in, this might work too. So yeah, that's great actually. And I'm gonna be putting maybe my more pepper seeds. Oh, by the way, my grandmother's making a Spanish dish, acapodia, and got all these peppers, like 2 bags of peppers. And so I said, okay, we'll put the seeds here and I'll dry them out. There's like 100 seeds, a lot of seeds. So I'll be giving away pepper plants this summer or this spring, because it could line the whole entire side of the yard, honestly, with how many pepper seeds there are. And I'm gonna put some of the Nasturtium. Nasturtium. I'm gonna eventually say it correctly. Eventually. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to pause this video. So at this point, so long I was trying to record this and I had to record it twice actually. This part of the garden and this time I had like an experiment going on. I was putting the compost or the waste in the second one. It grew up to be a pretty big mound. So in order for me to flatten it so that the cardboard wouldn't fly off, I took half of that off. So I'm going to put that in containers. And my little seedlings that need more soil that grew a little bit, I'm going to put some of that soil in there mixed with the mixed fertilizer. So now I'm working on the other side, and I had compost on this side as well. This one I hardly found any red wigglers, maybe about one or two, and just in this bowl alone, in this one section, there's about 8 red wigglers as I'm digging a hole in there to put more compost in there. So I'm doing one section at a time. I started with box 2 actually, and then I did box 1, and then I went back to box 3. So that's where you're at right now. I call it box because my mom wanted raised beds, so that is what the initial name was, but it is section 3 because it's the third section that we were able to add on. Before, when my dad had the garden, when my mom was doing, oh, and by the way, that was just like a little bit of coffee grinds and some bedding for the worms. So in the beginning, we had a small section in box 1, which is closest to the gate on the far side. It was very small, narrow. We had cucumbers. And then eventually I was able to grow a little bit more because I extended the land and I kept tilling the soil. So I think that was pretty much it. I just take them out from already. So we're going to have some wonderful compost because I just added the rest of the bag of Miracle-Gro compost with the casting. So I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to add that to some containers that are in the house that are running low on soil. And then I'm also going to put my zucchini plants in one of the containers that has some of this mixture in it as well before I put it in the ground come this spring, because I want them to kind of be used to the soil and a mixture of the soil here, and the compost will be good for it because it has all the vitamins and minerals, and then once it goes into the ground itself, then it will already be acclimated to that kind of pH, right? So let's see how it works. Hopefully it will. I mean, it's going to be in my window right now anyway, with this mixture, and I will be, giving it a lot of TLC. So when it comes back to being outside, because I put them outside just to get a little bit of that cold, right? And they started, so okay, and I covered them so they can just be out in the sun. But I'm going to take them in, and tomorrow, hopefully, I get a chance to do the same thing. And if not, it's okay. Um, but I know the hardening off it's a process for those plants. One of them is just fine. The other two, they're a little sad, but I'll just take a little bit more TLC for them. And yeah, so far I'm still putting the scraps in the soil, and I'm going to I think I'm going to put a little bit more hay out there, only on the corners because the wind keeps blowing the hay around, and then I'm going to have to turn the cement sideways so that there's no holes in them, and it keeps the hay inside on that ground. Then I'm going to take the tarp that I found and I'm going to cover that side, and then the one in the middle that has my main compost. I think I was trying to tell you guys that earlier, and I don't know if the video got cut off, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sorry, it's like all tilted. I don't have a camera holder, and so there goes my little guest right there. He's watching his little games. He didn't want to help me cut anything, but he did want to crush the eggs, so I'll just have him as my egg crusher from now on. Shell crusher. Yeah. Like Blaze and the Monster Machine. Blaze and the Monster Machine. It's Blaze. He's not reacting to it. He likes that show. All right, people. Bye. Most of these containers have to go into the recycling bin because they just smell real bad. But it's something we drink coffee all the time, so it's gonna go right on the porch. So yeah, so shrimp skins, the tails, the food scraps, the eggshells, the coffee grinds, the paper towel rolls. So all that's in the ground now. Covered it with the tarp. It should be good for a week or so. I'm gonna come back and check it, stir the soil around a little bit, and what else? Otherwise, it's pretty leveled out. It's kind of strange. Taking out that little bellowed dirt in the middle section really made a difference in the way it looks. And I didn't put any compost actually on this side in box number 1. I didn't even pick it up. I didn't till the soil. Not much of it anyway. So there's still like probably grass under there. And I'm just thinking maybe I should do that today, but I kind of don't want to because my back actually hurts from bending over right now. I'm doing this, and I even have a knee mat and stuff, but I think I'm just going to do some seedlings. So I guess this is an old idea, but a new idea for me. So I'm going to take some of the soil and then take my little scooper and put some in here. Make sure there's no roots in it. Remember, this is coming from outside. I'm going to fill this up to the top. And then, remember this, I can pop a hole right in it, like that. So basically, I'm going to fill this up, pop a hole in it, and then I'm going to set it in my strawberry container, right? And I'm thinking that once I can get this all done, I might put some soil around it, like to keep it kind of like what you would do with cement, right? Between tile or something, just like to keep it secure. Maybe we'll see if I have enough. I'm sure I have enough soil, but I'm just trying something new. People who love people are the happiest people in the world. So I'm doing this with bare fingers, only because them gloves are so. I put these on. Remember, these are the ones that I bought. They're too small. My son uses them. They're still too big for him, but they're too small for me. And with these nails, don't ask me why. Tack on it. Trying to get the thinner pieces because there's still some thick chunks in there. I know that they're not supposed to be, but they're going to be because it's all wet. And some of these dry ones are still there. Push them to the side. I'll break them down a little bit more. Wait, is that a wiggler? Hold on. No, that's a root. See, that's why. Well, I know it's important. I know it's important to add your natural matter to it. And then putting another hole in these because I'm topping on top of one another. That's alright. I'm gonna put this on pause. I don't know. I'm gonna put this on pause, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, there was a reason why I put you guys on pause. I was trying to look for something, and I'm like, where are they? I found the clear cup, so I'll show you exactly what I was doing. So I think I tried to show it earlier, but it didn't exactly work, and sometimes when I cut it incorrectly, it doesn't really work. I'll put it here. Let's see, I keep getting these fucking roots. Get out of here. I thought I cleaned y'all out. I know I cleaned it out of the roots. There's always going to be extra sticks in here, and then at the end it goes into my planter. So, okay, I'm going to show you guys what I did. Okay, now I can do this a little bit more close. I'm sure you guys have seen this if you have seen any other gardening videos. So I'm going to go about 2/3 of the scissors. And then I want to do it perfectly diagonal of it. So here's the cut. I'm going to cut it right on here on this other side. Okay, same length, maybe a little bit longer. And then I'm going to do halfway blue. So you see it right here. It's one cut here, one cut here. I'm going to cut one on this side and one on this side. Try to make it as even as possible because it is really difficult when you don't have it even. Okay, so, and it always comes out partially uneven anyway. Okay, so now you're going to fold in one side, right? Right here. It's okay if it doesn't cover to the other side. So you're going to fold the other side over, then you're going to fold this one over, and then you're going to fold this one over. Okay, so inside it's going to be like that. Eventually it's going to be wet enough, it's going to open up like that. Okay, and the roots are going to be able to grow down. And then this is going to be wet enough that it's going to be able to fall apart in time. But this was somebody's invention, somebody's idea. Holla. Wish I knew who you were. All the videos that I've watched over the whole entire winter and even last summer, I've got to start collecting names of all the people who have inspired me. Encouraged me, that I've watched them, and they've had their video channels for so many years, and I'm just, oh, hold on, there's something in here that's really thick. Hold on, let me get, oh yeah, that's a big old chunk. No. So let's pour soil in there. There you go. And then at the end, okay, so the reason why I'm leaving just a little bit up here is because at the end I'm going to put a little bit of soil over top. So, yeah, so that's that. Put it in here, and put one more. I can fit one more in here. Ooh. Sorry, because I'm going to put soil around it too. Hey, sweetheart. Hi. Hi, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? You're a young one, huh? Hi. Well, I know I'm moving a lot. I know I'm moving a lot. Okay, it's okay. No, it's okay. Oh, he's moving fast. He's moving real fast. Look at him. He's moving a lot. Look. He's moving a lot. Awesome. I really wish I could have permaculture inside here. That's alright. I'm gonna put this on pause again because I'm gonna put this outside. I have these already made. Alright, so I am actually going to be giving one of these plants away to one of my friends. I might end up actually giving a few of them away. I won't be giving them away in these little containers. I'll put them in their own little container, their own little planter, or if somebody has a little container like I have this, and they'll be very beautiful. I'll probably put one or two or maybe even 3 plants in here if somebody wants a whole lot of them. And I have 2 of those containers as a matter of fact. Right now y'all, I am going to, I should show y'all the pepper seeds. Oh my god, so many pepper seeds. Alright, beep. Alright, I think I put one more in here. I know it might be a little tight, but yeah, that works for me. Alright, now I'm going to show you, as a matter of fact, let me not forget, I did just say I was going to make this one. This is going to be like their own little gift container. Men, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. Many, 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 many. Makes me happy. So is it recommended that I put one in each hole? Or can I put two? They're pretty big seeds. So I might end up using this side, which is, we'll make two holes. Alrighty then. I guess I'm going to put two on this. Alright. I'm going to be planting a little bit more. Just right now, I'm going to put these away so they don't get wet. I should get a magic marker because that is something we have to put the name on here, and I don't know where my pencil went. I have a pencil, and they haven't erased from the other ones, right? I just realized that I think I want to get a magic marker for it. It's just that we use these often, a lot, right? And I don't buy them every year. And actually, at the end, they end up washing off. So I'm going to use it. Alaska. And this is going to be multiple colors, right? I'm going to write the second one because I have to put in this one. Yes to dim. Okay. Perfect. That. So put a little bit more soil, put a little bit more soil on top of these. I am going to put some, I'm going to push these down just a little bit because I don't want them moving when I put the soil on top of them. Wait, did I put any in this one? Guys, I didn't even put I didn't even put 2 in this one. That's funny. That's so funny. 1 and 2. There you go. It says that it's 2 pounds. Oh. Yeah, 2 pounds. Como? Alright. Actually, instead of using the little scoop, I'm going to use the bigger one. Bigger one. Or maybe not, because then it might turn into chunks. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, my son doesn't like this one. If you wonder what I'm doing this on a cookie sheet, but guess what? I still got dirt everywhere. I don't know how people are so clean when it comes to working with dirt. When people have their gardening surfaces or they do it inside the house, it gets everywhere when I do it inside the house. That's why I'm glad we have this garage that I can at least, oh no, that's stone. At least I can do some of the gardening up here when it's warm enough. A little bit of dirt in between, and the only reason why is because I really, really want these roots, and even if the roots kind of like grow a little bit further on the bottom, I don't even mind. And I'm hoping that it'll be warm enough for them to be outside soon. And these guys, I actually don't mind if these overgrow into the others, because I know with everything else you want them to be individual plants. But these are the same plants, so in the end, if they all grow together, I'm gonna just be able to do this and just put it in the ground, and it'll be a whole section of nasturtium. Nasturtium, something, I don't know what they're called, y'all. I really, really don't. Sounds like my mom's calling me. Is your grandmother calling? Is your grandmother just calling like that? Sounds like her calling. You calling me? Okay, yeah. I can. I'm gonna water this. I'm gonna use one of these basins. Even though it's got moist soil, I just want to make sure that it has holes in the bottom of it, right? Because this is the strawberry crate. So in either way, it's going to have great drainage. And I think I have trays in the house. I don't know, but I might end up putting this in one of those trays, actually. I have regular water, and I have a little bit left. Okay, I thought I didn't have any more left. Let me see. I'm going to put it over this. That way, the excess, if it spills, I can go right in there. Look at that. Look at that clean water. And this is something I wish I was able to pop a hole up here, but I did not put a hole in there, so I have it on the side. This is cold water. Just to make sure that they are saturated. Just to make sure. Okay. dripping a little bit. I have napkins in here, so I'm gonna dry my hands. My hands are sticky. Okay, and this is going to go here with that one. Ooh, it's cold. And it's actually getting much colder outside now that the sun is starting to go down. Oh, carrots back in here. Did you call me? What happened? Alright, so now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of them in here. I do have enough for another strawberry container, but I kind of want to do them in individual ones to see, but actually now I think about it, I don't think we have enough window space. And I'm going to have to do it in another strawberry container. Yep. Well, I'll be doing the cups soon. I told you, I'm going to use these. I am going to use these. I try not to, like, hoard too much, but I find myself keeping things that other people don't understand why I keep, and then I go, oh, I need to use that right now. And I do end up using it. So yeah, let me get another strawberry container. You guys have already seen it. I did it with this one, so, you know, fast forwarding it or blah, 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 blah. I don't know why I find myself thinking that I have to tell you guys something. I guess in my mind, you guys probably just saw what you know, my mom making the chicken. I don't like to cook meat that much, and the only reason why, one, I wasn't really taught how to cook meat, and this is just honest to God truth. But also because I personally was a vegetarian, and I like to cook vegetables more than any other thing. And my son likes shrimp like his father, so I can cook fish and shrimp really, really good with either dill and butter, or I do my Cajun shrimp, which my son absolutely adores. The spicier, the better. And that's a recipe I can just kind of like post on here, you know, just one of those things. But it's not that I don't cook. See, I'm gardening out here, and it takes me hours for me to do this. My son would normally have, you know, soup or something, you know, pretty quick and easy if it was just me and him for right now, or pizza, right? But he also loves his tomatoes and his strawberries, so I do grow a lot of vegetation because he does eat vegetation, and I raised him to eat vegetation. He used to love butternut squash growing up. He used to love pumpkin, and he used to eat broccoli when he was a little boy. So I thought this year I want to try to see if I can get him to eat broccoli again, just because, you know, normally when you have it, you know, they have it, it's in a package and it doesn't taste the same. So what I was going to do is I was going to teach him how to grow the broccoli himself and then see it grow so he can give it a try. Because the last time he helped me make broccoli and cheese soup, he did eat it. And now everybody was like, what? Yeah, he had broccoli and cheese soup as a little baby. Now, even as a little boy. But the thing is, when you get into that routine of giving your children canned foods or snacks and goodies and candies and chocolate's cool, but you know, every day eating sweets is not good. So I try to maintain him for 2 meals out of the day to be real food, like fruits and vegetables, tomatoes and cheese, and he does love cheese and he loves his yogurt, and that's absolutely fine with me because I do love cheese. I grew up on cheese. I didn't really like drinking milk growing up, but I drink milk now, for coffee or like strawberry shakes. And he was drinking strawberry milk, and he does like chocolate milk, um, but he doesn't like milk the way I kind of didn't like milk. So it's just all about getting the right things in your children's systems, getting them to eat correctly. Now, do I eat correctly all the time? No, of course not, right? And that's only because it's been easy to just buy packaged things. But if I had the choice, I would be on a homestead growing my own fruit and vegetables for every meal, getting the lettuce in my system, trying my son, trying lettuce for my son. I've grown cauliflower for myself, which is like awesome because Miss Wasserman gave me cauliflower since sixth grade. I loved cauliflower and I don't eat enough of it. Um, I want to grow it, and then other things. The lettuce, I'm almost afraid to try it. Because I tried it before and it just didn't come out, and I had my beautiful collard, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and it was beautiful. And then I was watching everybody else in their collards or their greens, and they get like this huge, and it's just like a jungle of beautiful greenery, and I love that. Um, but I asked my mom, and she doesn't want that. So if I'm going to do lettuce, it's going to have to again be in a container. I just want to have a container that's big enough to, you know, have as much greens as I really, really would like. So we are always learning, right? What's the process? If you stop learning, right? Or if you stop thinking about how to progress and how to be a better person and how to work with what you have or what you can do, then you're not limiting yourself at all. No limitation will be a stopping ground for you. You work around it. You work with it. You do what you can with what you've got. And no, I can't grow all the plants that I want to grow. I can't get everything that, I was watching a video the other day, and the lady had all these tomato plants, right? And then she was like upset because all the tomatoes got too much water in the bottom of them. Um, but their soil, it seemed like it was like really rocky. That's what it looked like to me. It looked rocky. Um, but she made mounds of soil. She had to do that afterward to keep the roots off of the ground. Now, for me, for them to have ground cover, for them to smush it down, and then to put a plant inside of that soil where the roots are for the other plant, it dying back, you can tell me all you want, but if those roots are still in the ground, they're still taking nutrients from the ground. Me personally, that's how I feel. So if any other root is in the ground other than the ones that are the tree that I want to grow or the plant that I want to grow, I'm going to take any other root out. Um, and that's how I am, right? I got a weed growing in with my plant because the soil is from the ground itself. I'll pull that little grass out, and I think grass is beautiful on many people's lawns. But if I could have my way, I'd have fruit trees. I'd have all these other beautiful things like a homestead and not lawn. I'm not a fan of lawn in my yard. On other people's, okay, that's pretty. But on my lawn, in my yard, I want all vegetation that I can eat. That's how I am. Anyway, like Puerto Rico, my grandmother had trees, orange trees. She had banana trees. She had, I don't know if she had carambola, but it can be like a rainforest in their backyard, honestly. And we can't grow a banana tree here in Philadelphia because it's cold. Um, but if you have a plant growing in a container and you take it out in the summertime, it will grow because of that beautiful sun and its natural rain. And then when it gets warmer, you bring it inside of the house, and then you get a heating lamp, and then you can have whatever plant you really want to grow, even if it is not from your area. Or you choose native plants, or you choose something that is really good in another part of the world that grows. Because I even thought about the blackberries. I'm like, blackberries are really, really great to grow here. Now, why don't we think to do that? Why don't we put them in the ground and have them grow? And they grow in Germany. And then Um, the one thing about the willow trees that I see around here is that you have a lot of Japanese maple trees. People have willow trees and maple trees, and there's this one, and it's purple, and it's beautiful. I'm like, wow, why don't we get one of those? Um, because it grows in another part of the world, the same climate, right? That same line or axis, and or also on the other side of the world, if you do the flip, they might have some plants maybe down south that like near the Patagonia, hello, in Chile and in Peru because it's cold. Um, so anything that grows high on a mountain, I believe that can take the hardiness, can be hardy in the cold, are things I think we can grow here. And no, they won't be native to here, but that's all right because I feel like if you put a plant that can grow in this temperature in the ground or even in a container, and you got it growing up here, you got another fruit or another vegetable that you can eat. And I think that just makes you healthier. And no matter where you are in the world, if you have a plate of fruit from that country, it gives you these nutrients that you may not have gotten from the fruit here where you live, right? So what's wrong with growing it here? You know, I see dragon fruit. Now, dragon fruit is not originally from the United States. Now, is it? Mm-mm. I don't think so. I think, and if it was, it had to have been far on the edges of the country. And people brought it inland. People went and found these fruits and vegetables growing in these other parts of the world from Mexico, and they bring them into our country. Why? Because they have nutrients that we need. They have food nutrients. And then look, you throw it in the trash, and what happens? The seeds go into the trash. They start growing, but can they really thrive? If you take the seeds off of a plant and you put it in the ground and you got it growing here, who says that's not? I mean, I look at you want to change the ozone, people. You want to change all the heating and the climate and all these things from all the damage that pollution. You can't really change the whole entire world unless you start with your own little local garden, your own little spot. Okay? I see people that have balcony gardens, and I go right on because they don't maybe have land, or people who do it on the roof of their houses and it keeps their houses insulated. You don't think that you could do this too? You know, if you have a piece of dirt, if you have a chunk of dirt, put a plant in it. Put one pretty flower plant. Get the bees to just come to you, and then they'll go about their business. You don't have to have a beehive. You don't have to have, you know, miles and miles of land to help the earth, to help the planet, to help the animals, to help yourself. You know, I'm talking a whole lot, but I really, I mean well by anybody who's watched my videos. Anybody. It's not. I have a deep passion for the fact that uh, in Genesis, God gave Adam and Eve the earth to take care of. They weren't just supposed to multiply. They were supposed to take care of the animals and to take care of the earth. And because of that assignment, I understand it. Okay, I am trying my hardest to to work with the ground that I have and to respect the God that gave it to me. So that's just me. You know, everybody feels their own way about how they garden, and maybe people aren't glorifying God in those times. When I get excited, I know it's because it's a gift from Him. So, and